I hope they love sunshine because we are going to be filled with sunshine tomorrow, I believe, Jason.
We're going to be sun-filled,
Right.
say, with the sunflowers. I guess I picked the right day to wear my golden tie.
Yeah, they're going to be enjoying tomorrow.
They are. Yeah. I think a lot of us are going to be enjoying tomorrow.
Right.
Softball game tomorrow, too.
Indeed.
Well. Pair of sevens recorded today at Cleveland Hopkins, folks. You can see that we were a far cry away from that century mark set back in 1955. I don't think there are going to be any complaints here in Northeast Ohio. So you can see about 5 degrees cooler than the average today, 82 degrees. We began at a pair of fives this morning at Cleveland Hopkins. Roughly about 8 degrees or so. You can see there, maybe about 9 degrees or so cooler than the average of 64 degrees where we should have been for this time of year. So area of high pressure, we're now going to move on the backside of that right now. What we do have coming into Northeast Ohio over the next 24 hours is going to be a very strong sucker punch of a warm front moving north into the area that will certainly be pushing our temperatures at and well above the norm for you tomorrow afternoon. Current temperatures right now with a light south wind coming in roughly 5 to 10 miles per hour, mid to low 60s, even some upper 50s there. Even for our friends down in Worcester, I believe you got into the 40s last night, believe it or not. Dew point temperatures also behaving themselves in the 50s, so it feels very nice out there. Cool breeze, we're going to keep it overnight tonight. Sunrise at 6:41 tomorrow morning. 50s widespread. We're going to be near normal, just like we were this morning for tomorrow morning. Even our lake conditions for tomorrow is going to be fairly well as also tomorrow. 74-degree lake temperature. 1 to 2 feet wave heights tomorrow. West-northwest wind roughly about 10 to 12 knots here, so we'll likely kick up a little bit of chop out there on the lake for you tomorrow. Hour by hour, whether you're going to be on the lake, whether you're going to be jogging in the neighborhood, whether you're going to be at a park, whether you're going to be playing softball tomorrow, or whether you're going to be barbecuing, it's going to be certainly nice out there. A kiss of summer, likely to be in the upper 80s across many locations tomorrow afternoon. So we'll likely be maybe 5 to 6, maybe even up to 7 degrees in some spots, warmer than the norm tomorrow. So it is a little bit unprecedented for us to get this hot, but again, not that bad. 87 degrees for Ashland, also Mansfield tomorrow afternoon high temperatures. 88 in Akron, 86 you can see downtown, pair of 8s for Norwalk and also Elyria. So again, the theme for tomorrow is going to be, again, a kiss of summer. That ridge that has been across the Central Plains, even the southwestern portion of the U.S., is likely going to move. So it's going to envelop in just a wee bit once we get into Monday, Tuesday of next week. This is going to be the remnants of Hillary that's going to ride right along that ridge up to the north, likely into southern Canada, then take a deep dive back into the Midwest here once we get into Wednesday or Thursday of next week. What that is likely to do is cause a little bit of pop-up showers of thunderstorms maybe for us late Wednesday moving into Thursday. Some of that could be lingering in our far north and eastern areas for the morning commute there on Thursday, and maybe a little bit arriving here for us on Friday afternoon. But I think what we'll get is likely some cooler conditions arriving in and also a little bit of wet weather. That is for Friday of next week. Quickly now, let's turn back to the tropics because we're now getting into peak hurricane season of 2023. We know what's happening in the Eastern Pacific with Hillary, but also something to bear in mind here. This is likely going to be a breeding ground for some tropical activity, and we have plenty of it. Sea surface temperatures in the 80s, and for some areas near Puerto Rico, feels like 88 degrees on the sea surface temperature. A lot of people saying that is likely bath water, it feels like there. So you can see we have about 4 disturbances here in the Atlantic that could likely turn into at least a tropical depression, but we already have one, tropical depression number 6. It is smattered right in between these two systems there. Max sustained winds as of right now at about 35 miles per hour. So again, bear that in mind once we get into early next week what the tropics will look like as we get towards the Gulf and also the South Atlantic. Here's that Union Home Mortgage 10. Much of the week is going to be dry, a little bit of activity arriving late Wednesday into Thursday. Maybe we'll get a little bit more sunshine out on Friday, but again, days after that into the final days, believe it or not, of August, back into the 70s we go.